Hey everyone, this is Stephen Walther, and this is AI News for Friday, August 2nd, 2024. Wow, lots of exciting stuff on the horizon. OpenAI has been announcing all sorts of, really exciting things. I think the theme for the week is frustration. This is great stuff. I can't wait for it to see the light of day. We're starting to see glimmers of these different products and features, but a lot of them just aren't quite out yet. So I want to talk about big announcement for the week, SearchGPT. That's OpenAI's Google killer. This is their search engine based on GPT. They finally officially announced that. I want to talk about that. Next thing I want to talk about is advanced voice mode. Now, this is another thing that OpenAI has been talking about for a while. They announced advanced voice mode. They gave demos of it back when GPT 4.0, 4 Omni came out several months ago. There's some announcements on the release dates for that. I want to talk about that. And then finally, OpenAI has dropped some new Sora videos. And you remember, Sora is OpenAI's much anticipated, not out yet, much anticipated text to video generator. Very excited about that. We're going to talk about the new Sora videos and talk a little bit about, all the updates on when is this stuff coming out. So all sorts of exciting things to talk about this week. Let's just dive right in. First off, OpenAI finally announced SearchGPT. Again, that's ChatGPT's Google killer. So it's their search engine based on GPT. And so this is big. We know they've been working on it for a while. There's been rumors about it. There's been leaks, press announcements. In fact, all the way back in, I believe it was February, there was an article on The Information about OpenAI developing its new search engine. This is all the way back in February 14th, 2024. They started talking about creating there was information leaking about OpenAI working on a search engine. People have been looking at their DNS registrations to see, different domain name registrations that seem to indicate that OpenAI was working on a search engine. But now they finally, they come clean, they've announced it. This is a big deal. You can find out more about it by going to SearchGPT.com. That's their domain name they're using right now for SearchGPT. And here's the sad part. Sorry. Right now, you have to join a wait list to be able to start using it. They're rolling it out slowly. They're testing it with a small number of customers. If you go to SearchGPT, you can sign up to join the waitlist, and then they'll send you an email invite. I haven't gotten mine yet, so I can't talk about what it looks like. But right now, it's it's for a limited number of customers. So why should we be excited about SearchGPT? In particular, how's it different from using GPT? You can already ask GPT, basically any question you want. So why is OpenAI investing in a new technology specifically for search? Well, let's talk about some of the reasons. They list them on the SearchGPT site. First off, SearchGPT, unlike ChatGPT, is designed to give answers. And that's important because ChatGPT is all around generating content. ChatGPT is great at generating, poetry, generating a lesson plan for your classroom, your essay for your class, all of that stuff. That's what it's optimized for. It's not necessarily optimized for answering questions, and SearchGPT is made specifically for helping you to get answers for questions. And so that's one big change. Another difference between SearchGPT and ChatGPT is, after a certain date, ChatGPT can answer your questions. Let me show you that. Let me switch over to ChatGPT for a second. And I'm using the free version. I'm using ChatGPT 4.0 Mini right now. I'm going to ask it a question. What is happening in the Paris Olympics? That's going on right now. Let me ask it that. And then ChatGPT gives me the very excellent answer. It can't really say anything because it doesn't have any information past January 2022. As of my last update in January 22. That's a long time ago. It said the Paris Olympics are scheduled to take place in 2024. That information isn't very useful. That's because ChatGPT 4.0 is only trained on data going up to January 2022. And so, that's just a black hole from the point of view of ChatGPT, anything in the future. So it's living in the past. So not useful if you want to research, sort of the most current stuff using a search engine. ChatGPT will fail you. But SearchGPT, on the other hand, can provide information right about the Paris Olympics. Any current event, it can provide any information at all. Now, just to clarify here, if you're using ChatGPT, the pro version, the paid version, then it can use Bing search in the background to look up more recent information. It does limit the number of Bing searches it can do, so it can kind of get around this limitation even in ChatGPT, but the experience should be much, much better in SearchGPT than it is in ChatGPT if you're asking about anything that happened, after the cutoff date. And then they advertise that you can search in a more natural, intuitive way. This is just advertising the fact that you can, do follow-up questions. So this is better than just doing, a vanilla, old-timey Google search, because you can interact in a conversation and get additional information. That's great. And then they also promote the fact that SearchGPT will support images and videos. That's exciting. You don't get that in ChatGPT right now. If you ask it a question, it won't automatically generate a graph or pull up pictures. It might give you links if you ask for it. You can link off to another website. But with SearchGPT, you'll get images and videos directly in your search results. That's pretty cool. I like that. One thing they don't mention here, and they actually talk about this a little more if you click on the Learn More link, but one of the biggest differences between SearchGPT and ChatGPT is, if you remember, right now, OpenAI is being sued by large publishers like the New York Times for taking their content and using it to train their ChatGPT model. And so they're being sued for billions and billions of dollars. OpenAI is pushing back. They're saying, hey, this is fair use. We're using the information from your articles to, train our AI models. But it's created a problem because with ChatGPT, they want to, create, they want to create a universal sort of source of truth where people can come and ask questions and get answers to anything. But if you think about sort of like the end state of that, why would people go to websites like the New York Times anymore, or the Wall Street Journal, or any of these websites when they can get all of their news and all of their information directly from ChatGPT? So OpenAI is taking a different approach with SearchGPT. What they're doing is they're working directly with the publishers. So they're working with, Wall Street Journal, the Associated Press. They have partnerships worked out with multiple publishers now. And what they're going to do is they're going to display the sources of the information that they're showing in the news prominently in their results. So in this way, they can become more like a news aggregator. SearchGPT can act more like a news aggregator instead of a wall between you and publications like, the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times. So hopefully this will resolve the issue with the publishers, because it will allow OpenAI to create a search engine and create prominent links, which is great because I want to get to the original articles, in any case. And so by allowing publishers to, control how their information is being displayed through SearchGPT, they no longer are such a threat to the, publisher industry, to traditional publishers like the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, which is great. OpenAI talks about their partnership with publishers and creators on the SearchGPT website. They announced that they are committed. That's great. They are committed to a thriving ecosystem of publishers and creators. That's awesome. They give some screenshots of how they'll allow publishers to, like the Wall Street Journal, to control the appearance of their websites when they're shown in search results. And so this should give you a way to, get answers to your questions and then be able to link over directly to, the article that the result was based on back on, say, the Wall Street Journal website. So this is awesome. You can get back to the source material, which is often what you want anyway when you're using a search engine. So all of this is great. And of course, it's also worth mentioning here that by creating their own search engine, OpenAI is now, directly competing, if they weren't competing before, with Google around, Google's core business, very profitable core business. But they're not only competing against Google, there's lots of other, specifically AI-enabled search engines out there. One of my favorite, for example, was Perplexity. If you've never gone to Perplexity AI, it's an AI-enabled search engine. I think it's amazing. I love using Perplexity. I want to look up, I don't know, articles on ants, and it will go out, gather all the information. It will also, throw in pictures. It will provide, you can go back and forth as a conversational like mode. I love using, a search engine that's based on AI like Perplexity much more than I like using vanilla, Google, even when Google has the AI results at the top. So I'm really hoping SearchGPT will, have all the power of Perplexity and enable me to do research on current topics and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so OpenAI is very clear when they discuss SearchGPT that this might not always be a standalone product. They're calling it a prototype. And the reason for that is they were saying that they're going to get feedback on the prototype and just bring all of the information they get, all of the learnings that they get from the prototype back into ChatGPT. So it's worth understanding that this may not end up being a separate product. There might not always be SearchGPT and ChatGPT. It may be that once they learn, sort of the best ways of providing information for a good search experience, that they'll just move all those new features back into ChatGPT. So anyway, exciting stuff. All right, so switching gears a little bit, let's talk about the other big announcement that came out this week. It was around advanced voice mode. And if you don't remember advanced voice mode, this was something that OpenAI started to talk about all the way back in May when they came out with GPT 4o. GPT 4o is, the O is for Omni. And they've released the model, GPT 4o, but they haven't released a lot of the capabilities that they demonstrated when they started to talk about GPT 4o. And, one of the biggest capabilities that they discussed was advanced voice mode. So what was that? So there's a description here about it. Let me scroll down. But basically, right now, when you use voice mode in ChatGPT, what happens is you speak, they have a model that converts what you say into text. That text is fed into GPT. It runs through the GPT model, and then text is outputted from the model, and then that text uses another model, the OpenAI uses another model to take that text and convert it back to voice. So there's three models involved. There's the speech to text, then there's the GPT model, and then there's the text to speech. That whole process is just agonizingly slow. So if you've used voice mode, I think voice mode is great. I talk to, ChatGPT all the time using voice mode, but it is very, very slow. In fact, the average time it takes to, get a response out there is about 5.5 seconds, 5.4 seconds to be exact, on average. So that's a long wait time. Imagine having a conversation with a human, and every time you say something to the human, you have to wait 5.5 seconds for them to say something back. That wouldn't be a fun conversation. And so the promise here with GPT-4 Omni is that instead of having to go through three models every time you're, having a conversation, what will happen instead is GPT can directly understand audio. So I can hear your voice directly and be able to respond to that. And what that allows it to do is get its response time down to, they claim it gets it down to about 320 milliseconds. That's amazing. That's as fast as humans talk to each other. I mean, that's a sub-second response. And so they're also because the audio is being directly understood by GPT, it also means that it can pick up on things like your emotional state because it can hear your tone of voice. It can they do a demo of a guy breathing too much, be too fast, so it has GPT calm the guy down. So you can do things like that because now instead of taking the audio, transcribing into text and feeding that into GPT, what advanced audio mode will allow GPT to do is just interact directly with humans and give immediate responses, supporting interruptions, supporting back and forth conversations. So I'm very excited about this new feature. Unfortunately, it hasn't rolled out yet, but the announcement this week, and they've started to display this prominently on the ChatGPT app. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the GPT app, the ChatGPT app on my Macintosh. So I'm opening up, this is the desktop app. I'm going to switch over to voice mode. So I'm going to click the headphones right there. And you'll notice, now it's listening to me. So, hey ChatGPT, how are you doing?
Great. What kind of image would you like to create with DALL-E?
What? That's not what I asked. Anyway, so I'm going to pause this for a moment. And what I want to show you is now they put up this little information icon providing an update on what happened with advanced voice mode. Basically, they're saying they're taking additional time. They're going to start releasing it to a small group of ChatGPT Plus users in late July. That's right now. So they're starting to roll it out to a small number of users. But they're not promising to get it out for everyone until the fall, to all Plus users until the fall. So that's a little disappointing because they did demo this feature quite a while back. Apparently there's rumors that, they're trying to make sure that they have enough server capacity to be able to handle all the demands. And also there's some, safety issues around the new advanced voice mode. So I'm excited about this feature, but it's going to roll out to us slowly. That, again, is a theme for the week. A little bit of frustration, but a lot of excitement about what's coming in the future. The last news topic for today concerns Sora. And as a reminder, remember, Sora is the very anticipated new technology coming out from OpenAI that allows you to generate videos, full videos from text. And so they've been, OpenAI over time, they've been dropping a lot of sample videos talking about it. They're being very careful with releasing this technology. You can imagine all the dangers involved in this technology, especially in an election year where possibility of deep fakes. You can have Donald Trump say anything within a Sora video or Kamala Harris say anything. I mean, the potential for abuse is immense. And so they're being very careful about the way that they're introducing this to the world. But they've, originally when they announced Sora, they had some initial videos. And these were amazing. This video happening, and which was prompted with a stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon. It's amazing how realistic this is. It's amazing how many details that OpenAI is able to fill in to be able to generate this video. Amazing stuff. So over time, they've worked with a lot of outside companies, including companies like Toys R Us, to demonstrate what Sora will allow different types of creators to do. So they've worked with architects, they've worked with filmmakers, they've worked with people developing products, they've worked with choreographers to be able to show off what you can do with this technology. And over the last few weeks, OpenAI has dropped additional videos showing off the capabilities of Sora. And so I just want to show you what some of those videos look like. You can see the new Sora videos by navigating over to YouTube and going to the OpenAI channel on YouTube. So that's where I'm at right now. And if you scroll down, you can see the videos here. And so these are the new ones that have come out over the last few weeks. There's, for example, the baby alpaca one is a music video. and it shows off, everything should emphasize everything in these videos are AI generated. So everything that you see is generated using Sora technology. What's not, what's kind of hidden in this process is, all the sound is not Sora generated. So all the audio is created independently of Sora. Also, as OpenAI is very clear about, this might take a lot of generations and a lot of stitching together and a lot of editing to be able to get the final videos that you're seeing. But they're still, kind of mind blowing to think that these aren't like a mixture of, real people and computer generated videos. These are purely computer generated videos, which is what makes this technology incredible. So there's a number of really great videos here. I'm going to go directly to the one by Tim Fu. So this is Tim Fu is a architectural firm, and what they're showing off is how you can use Sora to create, sort of amazing rooms. So look at the background of this room. It's pretty amazing. All the shapes back there, look at this corridor. So this is all, you could see where for an architect being able to create a presentation of your vision for these amazing rooms is very, very powerful. So I love this video. Let's look at another one. We're gonna go back here. This video is by Charlotte Tribos, and she is a dance choreographer. And so this one, I admit, I find a little disturbing. So she wanted to, experiment with different human forms, and so this is really, it looks like tripod people with butts. I mean, it really kind of looks like that. There's like 3 legs. There's something on top, but she wanted to experiment, and this is truly disturbing. It looks like the legs are going the wrong way. I don't know. It looks like they're missing arms. Here's more butt tripod people. But it's interesting to see what an artist can do with this technology, because she's saying that this will help her to come up with new kind of movements, that new sort of dances. She writes. Where does she write this? Let me go down here. She writes, I bring Sora's understanding of movement into the rehearsal, alluding to a dimension that comes from agents that have no human form. My dancers then either study and elaborate on Sora's proposals or respond to them to create a communication between dimensions. So this is pretty out there, but it's fun to see what people, can do experimentally with Sora. But I want to show you my favorite new video. And this is the one with, this looks like a video that's coming from the early 1900s. And it has just, impossible things happening in it. Giant birds that they're controlling here. Wait a minute, gotta wait one moment here. A guy on a dinosaur. That's amazing. That looks so realistic. Here's the panda doing karate. That's awesome. Bear on a bicycle. Well, that might have actually happened. I don't know. That seems like something a bear could do. And here's my favorite, the woman on a tortoise, a giant tortoise. So yeah, so this is just amazing stuff. And it's just being generated with prompts, which is incredible. Okay, one last video. I thought this one was cool too. This is a video that if you love clouds, then you're going to love this video. All right, let me get to the clouds part because he has lots of clouds. Okay. All right, finally, I want to show you this one. If you love clouds, you're going to love this video. Here we go. It's floating on a cloud. Off in space on a cloud. Remember, this person is also computer generated. That's pretty amazing. It looks so realistic. This looks like a person on a cloud. Still on the cloud. Anyway, he's cloud surfing. But anyway, that's amazing. That's awesome. Before we wrap up, one final piece of news. I also have a long form podcast that I do every week, and want to make sure everyone knows where it is. It's at OpenAI Changes Everything. If you go to this YouTube channel, this week I interviewed Charles Elwood. So Charles Elwood is a Microsoft AI MVP, And what he's done is he's given back, using AI, voices to people who have lost their voice due to disease. So he worked, for example, with a former radio announcer to help him recover his voice through AI. And we had a really fascinating discussion about how the ability to reproduce anyone's voice is going to impact society. So recommend you go off, check out the video, have a weekly long form podcast where I interview a thought leader in AI. Recommend that you check that out. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in this week. Make sure you click the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on, this is a weekly news update. So I want to make sure you see all the news for every week. And I am excited about everything going on in the OpenAI world. And I will see you next week.